Hey guys, it's Katie.
And Ari.
And today we are going to do a Q&A for you guys. I feel like we've gained a ton of new followers, and you guys all want to know about us, so we're going to roll into all of the juicy questions.
These questions have come from our joint Instagram account, so go ahead and follow there. We're usually pretty responsive.
Yeah, and it's just Katie and Ari. I think that's all of our socials.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's dive in. So I have them on my phone, so if you see me looking at my phone, that's fine. All right, first question. How did Ari and I meet?
So we matched on Tinder back in June of 2021.
Yes.
And we sort of texted and called it a little bit for 3 weeks.
Ari only wanted a hookup. Let's address that now.
As did you.
No, I wanted a free dinner.
Oh, I see. Which you didn't get.
No, I didn't.
But so we started talking and things were looking good. So I
Yeah.
said, I'm going to come out and meet you in Chicago. And she was like, great, I'll send you some hotels. And I'm like, no. I'm going to come stay with you for 5 whole days.
I had never met this man. We had been talking for literally 4 weeks, if that. And I was like, all right, come stay with me. Random man, knew nothing about, could have been a serial killer.
Yeah.
But I took the risk and I'm glad I did. But don't do that. Like, don't do that. Please don't.
You definitely shouldn't. Like, I was nervous. I was like, okay, she might kill me. But the one that supported us was her mom.
Yeah,
and insisted that we do it.
My mom was like, you should have him come out. Because I told my mom, I was like, I don't want this man coming to Chicago. Like, I wasn't ready for a relationship. I was 19. I had just moved to Chicago for the summer. I wanted to have fun. And my mom was like, no, I feel like there's something different about this guy. And she was right. And yeah, those 5 days, we genuinely fell in love.
Yeah. Like, the whole trajectory of our lives changed.
Yeah. So that's the story of how we met. Very 20th century. What is the age gap? This is our most commonly asked question, you guys.
I fucking hate this question. This is such bullshit because everyone thinks I'm like 35. And I'm like, I'm 24? I just have a beard.
Everyone thinks Ari is like this uncle, and it's so funny. I'm 20 and he's 24. We met when I was 19 and he was 23.
Yeah.
Our age gap, I know it exactly. It is 3 years, 10 months, and 29 days.
How do you know that?
Because I'm crazy.
That's not too much time.
I'm crazy. But no, like, our age gap is not weird. It's not big. It's just people think it's a lot bigger than it actually is.
I think I may need to like shave for
No.
TikTok to show people that, hey, I'm not fucking 80.
No. I think it's also the way he dresses. Like, he wears suits, he has a briefcase, he wears nice watches and cufflinks. So, like, you do give off a little bit of an older vibe.
I mean, if
Which
we were
is
in the
why I went for him.
1920s, then I wouldn't. But in this day and age, yes.
Yeah.
I own one hoodie, I think.
Yeah, I finally have got him to start wearing, like, snapbacks, so he looks a little younger. But, yeah, no. Only 4 years. Not a big age gap at all. Is it hard adjusting to one another's cultures?
So I'll go first because my answer's pretty quick. Easy for me. Her culture is very simple. It's very practical. I like that there's a lot of respect and equality and boundaries for the most part.
Yeah.
And that for me lines up with my personal beliefs. So it was pretty easy for me to get accustomed to.
I think for me, it was definitely more difficult, and I think anyone in a position like ours can understand where I'm coming from. I wouldn't say the culture was intimidating or scary, but it is a very traditional culture. Indian culture is just very traditional, and American culture is so far from being traditional that there was just a lot of things that I had to learn and then unlearn about myself and adapt. I will say some people like to make the culture like scary and like it's gonna eat you alive, and it's not. As long as you are willing to learn and you have boundaries, I think it works well. There are things in Indian culture that I'm just not comfortable with and I will not partake in, and that's okay because it's not my culture, but I've adjusted as much as possible.
Yeah. And having come to India, you've seen how welcoming and inviting everyone
I
is.
will say Indians in the States versus Indians in India are completely different, and they have a completely different narrative towards interracial relationships and white people. I've definitely gotten more love and support here than we could have ever gotten in the States. So it's been great. Were you scared to meet Ari's parents, and what do they think of your relationship?
I was scared.
I was not.
Scared. No, she was looking forward to it. I was scared because I didn't know how it was going to go. But
keep in mind, this is Ari's second relationship. He dated a girl from like middle school to high school, a little into college, and that was that. And then me. And she was white, but she grew up in India, so she was Indian. So their idea of her versus me,
Night and day.
night and day. They're not a fan of our relationship. We are very open and honest about that.
Yeah, it's been tough.
I love them. I think they are very good business people. I think they've been very successful. They've raised amazing sons, and I applaud them for that. But yeah, they're not the biggest fan of me, but that's okay.
It's a part of life. Not everything is gonna work out.
Exactly, and I think the biggest thing to remember is as long as your relationship is strong, that's all that matters. So going off of the family questions, someone asked, what is Ari's relationship with my family like? I'm gonna start off with this one. It is everything you could imagine your partner and your family to be like. Ari loves my family and my family loves him just as equally. My mom and him text, they FaceTime. My grandparents are absolutely in love with Ari. My grandfather has given Ari his blessing numerous times to be with me and have a family with me. If my grandparents FaceTime me, they will not start the conversation until Ari is in the room with us. They love him that much.
No, they're so sweet. They've hosted us twice up in their home. It's been phenomenal. Like from the warmth, like they insist that I call them Mimi and Papa, and not my first names or last name.
Like they get genuinely angry when Ari like calls them by their name. They're like, no, you're our grandson. Like call us what our grandkids call us.
And that was from day one.
Day
Like,
one.
They've been so warm and so sweet.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, and also your siblings. I feel like they all seem to like me.
Yeah, so my siblings, it's a little hard because we're all kind of spread out. My older sister lives in Italy with her husband. Obviously, Ari and I are in LA. And then I have two younger siblings who live back at home with my mom. My brother and my mom have come to LA to visit us, but my younger sister hasn't. She's 18, she has a boyfriend, she is doing her own thing. But she loves Ari. She thinks he's very handsome and she loves how much he loves me. That's like, if you ask her opinion, she's like, he's good looking and he treats Katie well. So she loves him. My younger brother has a role model for the first time in his life and he looks up to Ari so much. And I'm gonna get emotional, as a big sister, that is everything I could ever want in a partner. And I'm so glad that him and my younger brother have such a good relationship. And then my older sister, they've only met through FaceTime because she's in Italy in the Air Force, but her and my brother-in-law absolutely adore Ari, and as a big sister, she loves how much he protects me and he takes care of me. So it's so nice to know that like my whole family is so in love with Ari. If anything, they probably prefer you to me at this point.
And I think it goes beyond like immediate family, because your aunt Cheryl
Yes.
is so sweet.
She loves you.
And then Kyla's mom.
Yeah.
She's one of her friends.
Like my friends' parents, who I consider family, like they're obsessed with Ari. Like absolutely everyone in my life loves Ari. Ari loves them, and I think we're very blessed to have such a strong support system on my side of the family.
Honestly, I don't know where we'd be without it.
Yeah, it's great. So I'll insert some pictures here, and you guys can see how much they love him. This is a good question. What is our favorite cuisine to eat together?
Oh, do you want to go on three?
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Chinese. Ooh, close.
I mean, we have been doing a lot of Chinese over here.
I think, but back in LA, we would do sushi all the time.
Yeah, the only times we do Chinese in LA is if we're doing like a movie night and we order and take out. And
Yeah.
those nights are very special.
Yes, they're very memorable. But I think that's pretty close, Chinese and Japanese.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, I will say Ari and I are very big on Asian cuisines. His favorite food is Thai food.
No.
You've always said it is.
No, the place next to my factory is Thai. That's why I'm always there. It's not because it's my favorite. My favorite is French food.
Where did this come from?
From the beginning.
If we're talking European, I'm so white. I love German food. I'm so boring,
It is
but I
very good.
love it. I also was an exchange student in Germany, so that's probably why I prefer the food to like French food. You're a rich, fancy brat.
I don't know. The French just do it different.
He likes like escargot and nasty shit
Foie
like
gras.
that. I ate it.
The first time we went to a French place, I had her try foie gras without telling her what it was, and she spit it out.
I'll never forgive him. He traumatized me. Ooh, this is a good question too. Are we planning on having kids in the future?
Yes.
Yes.
With different people.
Ouch. No, we are not even engaged, let alone married.
Yeah.
So kids are not going to happen for
A long time.
5 to 7 years.
Which is a long time.
I think for the first time, yeah.
But we do want kids.
Yes. The question is how many? I come from a long line of big families. My dad has 5 siblings, my mom has 2, I have 3, so it was always like anywhere from 6 to like 8 to 10 people in a family. I love a big family, I love kids, I love a strong family unit. Him on the other hand is like a one and done.
No, we can stretch it to 2. But my point is that if you want so many kids, you have 2 of your own and then start an orphanage.
That's the most illogical thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Have you not seen Batman?
Oh my god.
Okay, never mind.
Next question. Ooh, what was our first date together?
Okay, our first date.
Do you want to tell it from the different perspectives?
Yes.
Okay.
So our first date was in Chicago. It was at a steakhouse called Steak 48, which is one of my favorites. We got all dressed up and took an Uber, and I think that was your first time at a steakhouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she had told me that before we went out, so I knew I had to make it special. So we had a lovely, lovely waiter, and he insisted that I get the most expensive steak on the menu, which was I think it was a Wagyu ribeye.
It was.
And I mean, I don't remember how much it was. My wallet does, and it hurts. But it was just a beautiful night. And
Yeah.
for me, it was like a traditional date. Like that's usually the dates that I would go on.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, I think that was a little different.
Yeah, I was not prepared. I had never been in a relationship where we had any dates that was like above like a McDonald's or like a sit down restaurant, like a pub. So when Ari was like, oh, let's go to a steakhouse, I was like, okay, this is new. I didn't know what to wear. I genuinely don't think I had ever like had a proper steak even before that.
Yeah, because you said you didn't like steak.
No,
and
I
was
didn't like steak because I had only had it a few times and I wasn't a fan of it. But we got there and Ari thought he made a reservation and he didn't.
I forgot about that.
And he got so flustered and they didn't have a table open, and so he like was freaking out. I was like, let's just go sit at the bar. Like, I'm totally okay with it. Luckily, that was probably the better plan because we had the most amazing waiter, like you said. We ordered a couple glasses of wine. Ari like took off my coat, like put it on the back of his chair, like the whole thing. And then yeah, we ordered A5 Wagyu and truffle fries. The steak, I remember how much it was. It was $238.
What did I see in you?
I don't know.
$248.
I don't know. He was trying to impress me. But I like told him, I was like, you're an idiot for spending that much money on food. Like do you know the amount of food I could buy for $238? But it was by far the most memorable thing ever. And I think that is something I will tell our children and people for the rest of our lives. It will always be a very big core memory for me. So he hurt his wallets, but it worked out. We are going to end the questions there. That's kind of the basics of what everyone wants to know. We are very open and honest about everything, so if you guys have any more questions, just leave them in the comment section below and we'll do another Q&A answering those.
And thank you again so much for all the support on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. We really wouldn't be in the position that we are without you.
Yeah, it means so much to us and it genuinely keeps us going. We feel like you guys are not only friends but family, and we have such a strong community. So yeah, we just want to reiterate every time we post how much we love and care for you all. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or just want to get to know us, you guys can DM us on Instagram and we're always responding. So we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.